Hello and welcome to Face Off tonight. There has been renewed calls by Nigerians to restructure the country. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, Governor of Ekiti State, Ayodele Fayose, amongst others, are arguing urging the present government to save the nation, stem the tide of ethnic sentiments, marginalization, and set machineries in place to get governance right. This has been the call in the last few weeks. Successive administrations have made efforts to redesign the corporate entity called Nigeria. The latest of such efforts is the 2004 National Conference report, where far-reaching recommendations were made, and that is yet to hit the limelight in terms of implementation. Many believe the country is practicing a faulty federal system, and only possible options to pull Nigeria out of its current mess is to restructure. That's been the call. While others insist there's nothing wrong with the present structure. And that's our conversation tonight. Incidentally, like you would expect, we have two gentlemen in the studio who will be dealing with this topic. We're looking at, is Nigeria practicing true federalism? Because federalism has got a structure, how it should operate. Should states, local government, be given full autonomy? These are some of the questions that we're begging for answers, especially at the Confab. Why is the 2014 Confab report yet to be implemented? These subtopics will form the fulcrum around our conversation tonight. And quickly, without much ado, I have to my right Mr. Sam Olisa. Welcome to the. He's a public affairs analyst, and he has a position that thinkers around restructuring Nigeria should think.
Yeah, I think. And
I would like you to also give us your position.
Thank you for having me, and good evening, viewers. My position is that restructuring Nigeria as a country is well overdue. Okay. My position is yes.
Okay. I have another gentleman in the studio, and it's Mr. Funsho Ologunde. He is State Vice Chairman, APC Lagos State, I should think.
Yes.
Yeah. So you're welcome. So, just quickly, why do you think he's not completely on the right track?
Well, good evening, viewers at home. Nigeria has been undergoing restructuring since independence. And any call for restructuring now is a call to take us back to another stage where we're going to be doing things by trial and error, which is not right for us at 56.
That already tells you we're going to have an interesting conversation today around how Nigeria can move forward in terms of whether we need to restructure Nigeria and change the configuration of what we have already. That's a conversation that is really getting a lot of momentum. We'll be right back after the short break to take on the show right and proper. Stay tuned. If you just joined us, we're looking at the conversation around should Nigeria be restructured, as have been called for by sessions of, it's been a discourse around town, and it's becoming a very veritable one, and momentum is gathering around it, and we thought we should bring this conversation to your homes today and have you at some point in the program contribute and let us have your very intelligent contributions to this topic. Why is the 2014 Confab report not yet implemented? These are some of the fulcrum around our discussions tonight. My producer is ready with a particular emphasis on advocacy over this, and if we have it, let's listen to it so we can build our conversations from it. Stay tuned.
We have obviously not done enough to realize national integration, and the survival of our democracy is still a work in progress. The cost to us has been enormous. We even fought a civil war to forcibly keep this country together. Since the various amalgamations that created the entity that we now call Nigeria, different segments of Nigeria's population have, at different times and sometimes at the same time, expressed feelings of marginalization, of being shortchanged, or dominated, or oppressed, or threatened, or even targeted for elimination. Apart from regional, ethnic, and religious groupings, other segments of the population, such as labor and professional groups, have expressed similar frustrations arising from a sense of exclusion and helplessness. This often stems from feelings that their voices are not being heard, or that they are unable to hold those in power to account.
Now we're here to pray for Nigeria, so that God can intervene in most of the problem that we have, which you have mentioned. And as we pray, we only don't pray for the good things to be done, but we also have to act it, to play our part to ensure the attainment of that peace, of that law and order, and doing things correctly.
Well, former vice president and a former president, I hear prayers, I hear discussions, I hear distortion as far as an agitation. Sam, why do we need to restructure Nigeria?
Well, starting from even family house. If you inherited a family house built in 1948 or 1950 or 1960, and you still leave it as it were till today, you'll be a laughing stock in your village or your town or your city, so to say. You either bring it down totally and rebuild, or you restructure and modernize it. United States of America got independence in 1776. As early as 1787, 11 years after independence, they realized they have to sit down and write a constitution in which true federalism will be practiced. Only 11 years. Nigeria has been independent since 1960. How many years? We're over 50. We don't know that we have to sit down and write a new constitution that will pay us, people's constitution, instead of the inherited constitution for the military. Our present model is a manipulated model, susceptible to further manipulation. For example, despite the federal character clause in the military induced constitution, there is still appointments are still lopsided. We need to redress it. That's what is restructuring. 2, our present model is a lame duck model. It does not encourage efficiency and effectiveness. You see, when I say it does not encourage effectiveness.
Sorry to cut you, Mr. Funsha. I hope you see that he came prepared with a lot of documentation that he's reading from.
And he has his own too. He has his own. I have to marshal my points.
Absolutely.
Yes. So our present model is outdated. We cannot sustain this country based on it. 3, our present model is purely centralized federalism. This is not unconnected with the fact that after the military took over in 1966, after going through the war, they now brought in order from above into our constitution, so that everything is centralized. Before the military, we have regional governments in Nigeria, for God's sake. The northern Nigeria, western Nigeria, and eastern Nigeria. Everybody were doing well. Western Nigeria with cocoa, our economy was buoyant. Northern Nigeria with groundnut and cotton, the economy was buoyant. Eastern Nigeria with palm oil, palm produce, the economy was buoyant. But now, everything centralized on oil, crude oil, instruction from the above. Every state will go to Abuja with cap in hands to collect money from the federal federation account. And unfortunately now, our present situation has even exposed us. Nigeria is broke. Many states' governments cannot pay salary. So should we continue like this?
Let's go for sure, Charles.
We should restructure. We should.
If I listen to him very carefully, I would want to almost quickly agree on, not until I hear you.
Yes, I want to thank him for at least venturing into my lines of argument. Some of the points.
In other words, you are in line with him.
No, he has used my own lines of argument to justify very erroneously his own position. The truth is, before independence, when we started...
Do you agree that we should restructure Nigeria?
I don't. We don't need it. We don't need restructuring.
Do you know how that sounds?
It sounds properly.
Okay, let's hear.
It sounds very well. Now, before independence, we had regional government granted by the British.
Based on our federalism, though, that's what I'm asking right now.
At independence, the British handed over to us a parliamentary system. parliamentary form of democracy. Within a few years after the government was overthrown and the soldiers came in with the unitary command of federalism, along the line, as we were advancing towards handover to the civilians, we went into debates, extensive debates, and we opted not for parliamentary democracy but for presidential system. And so that's the beginning of our restructuring was so early. He talked of 17 years in America. Restructuring in Nigeria started
11 years in America.
11 years in America.
Yes, after
restructuring
after wrote their constitution.
In Nigeria, we got independence in 1960. By the time we had the failure of the failed First Republic, the military came and we started calling for presidential system. So we had a restructuring at that time into the presidential system, which is what we've been practicing, which follows exactly along the lines that presidential democracy is done in the United States. We had regionalism.
I'm waiting to hear why you don't want us to restructure Nigeria.
Yes, I'm telling you that we've been on restructuring.
So we should continue.
We've been on restructuring. So the view that those who call for restructuring erroneously hold is that we need to go back. Now we have moved from parliamentary democracy.
He's thinking that we have
moved. No interjection.
Okay.
Because I didn't interject you.
Yes,
not
that point.
I'm taking note.
Interesting. Because